Yeah, welcome to the back to the firehouse. As you can see from an outside location, we are firing today. This reason is going to be for the because we are out in the what I call the countryside. This reason will be for the bush people, as it was, you know. Because I am a bushman, and when I say it is for the bush people, I am speaking for those of you then who are called Africans, or the descendant of Africa. You know, you are the bush people, or the jungle people in this reasoning. So in this reasoning now, I'm saying to you, each and all of you who are from the bush, or you are from the descendant of the bush, that you might have migrated out into the cities and all over into the other fields of life. But this is a time now where the bush is calling you home. You understand? Because you have attached up yourself to a lot of modern things then, or modern ways, which is not your way. You are a bushman. You are not a city man, you understand? So, in the city out there, out in the developed world as it was, you have all manner of teachings. And a lot of you bushmen have adopted the teachings of other human beings who are not from the bush, as it was, and do not understand the ways of bushmen. Now, I don't know, I think that the city dwellers have convinced you that those who live in the bush are uncivilized, and that the ways of the bushman is an uncivilized way. So therefore, you have given up the ways of the bushman. Because when I'm saying the bushman now, because you've gone away so far from yourself, and adopted ways that are not the bushman ways, you need now to empty all those things out of your mind and revert back to the ways of the bushman. Now, you know that because we are bushmen, we've been in the bush a long time before we meet those who call themselves civilized. Now, you have to remember that the creative energy not only give intelligence to the city dwellers, but also to the bushman. So, we all are connected to this intelligence. But for some reason, a lot of the bushmen have been convinced by the city dwellers that the ways of the bushman is not correct, and that in fact the creative intelligence did not give unto the bushman any intelligence whatsoever. You know, so why follow the ways of your ancestors? You know, your ancestors was just bushmen, and all they had was bush ideas. So a lot of the bushmen has converted themselves away from being bushmen to be city dwellers. I hear a lot of them, they've gone into the house of Islam, which is not an ancestral home. Because don't forget, we was bushmen a long time before such forces as Islam come onto the scene. You know what I mean? In fact, the bushmen had done great things before such things as Islam come onto the scene about 15 or 1800 years ago, they say. You know, and the bushmen down there in from Zimbabwe to Nigeria to Ethiopia to Egypt has got great history. Like I'm telling you, long time before these city dwellers come in with their modern tales and has captivated a lot of the bushmen. So those bushmen now have gone away and has gone into that house, which is well, you're not going to know yourself. Put it this way, as a bushman, you could never then know yourself as a bushman, because then you are not remembering where you come from or what your history is. Because the city dwellers, those who have, as according to them, received special messages, has convinced you that the ways of the bushmen, which is your ancestors, were not suitable for modern living as it was in the city. So you have decided that your ancestors then were men who were lacking intelligence, as it was. That the creative energy did not give them any intelligence, therefore they could not have displayed any intelligence. So you have to go and seek intelligence where you think it is, which is from an outside agency there. A lot of the brothers, like I've said, have gone on to be captivated by such movements. And then you have, in the city there, you have Christianity, which has also convinced a lot of the bush people that they are not bush people, and that they are actually city dwellers. But because you see, a lot of these bush people was captured going back in history physically, and then over a generation they didn't have to do it physically. No, it was just like mentally, like there was, they come to accept that there was not bush people and that the ways of the bushman was not correct. You understand? So they decided to follow those people. But I was not one of them that got captured by those who was capturing the souls of the bushmen. You understand what I mean? I am actually a gorilla, as it was, from deep Congo. So I was hiding right there in the bushes and refused to come out and to adapt the ways of the city dwellers and join into this business of they said, what did they say? They said they have God sent his son to die for the bushmen. That's what they that's one of the messages that they was telling the people in the bush. That you must not follow any of what your ancestor was saying or doing, because somebody has died for your sin. Obviously the bushmen never know anything about this, the first time the bushman know that God's son was on earth was when some city dwellers, decided to come into the bush looking for food. And we have lots of treasure in the bush. So they wanted these things, because city dweller, the thing with city people is they lack necessities in life. So they always have to be looking to take what somebody else has got. And it's always, you see how the countryside is lovely out here. It's always the bush people that produce most of the things that the city dweller consume. So they are always looking at ways of conning the bushman and thinking that they are a lot smarter than the bushman. So, but the bushman knows that the city man is a very the bushman always say, in the city there is no pity. You see what I mean? Because in the city you're definitely going to find selfishness, greed and all those kind of things. But when you come out here, like in the lovely countryside, the people are lovely, and they says good morning, how are you and all that, and you find that bush people, although the city people think that they are uncivilized, they are some of the most civilized people. So, but no one like to live in the bush anymore. So we find that a lot of the bush people then has been what I call transported spiritually to another, away from the jungle, where they now look on those who live in the jungle as backward people, and look at those who the creative force put to live in the jungle as uncivilized human being, and they've decided now to go along with those who are the city dwellers, not knowing that city dwellers, city dweller is always selling you something. That's your business, me say. So city dweller selling them the story about Jesus and the Muhammad and the Buddha and Selassie and all these kind of things. Forgetting, like I'm telling you. And these city dwellers, like I tell you, they have nothing in the city apart from they produce greed and lie, hate, deception, all these things. So what the city dweller did, in fact the bushman now, because when you live in the bush here, out in the bush, you learn to live with nature. We don't exploit nature. We live with nature. So nature is our book. Like how you write a Bible and you write on a Quran and all these books. We don't bother with that. We just say, the original book is nature, life itself. So we read life. You understand what I mean? No. The city dwellers have a way of coming to the country, getting something from out of the bush, bringing it to the city, wrapping it up in fancy dressing and bringing it back to you without you knowing that it is the same thing that he's got out of the bush. Yes, so all you bush people now who have you run off into Islam, into Christianity and all these other, you run off, some of you are Masons or whatever you want to call yourself. You do not know that all these things originate in the bush. Yeah, right here in the bush. You need to study your history. And even more so now where we have communication at your fingertips. So you can go on your internet and you can check the facts of the matter. You understand what I mean? So you can check out the root of this Christianity that they are telling you about, yeah? And Islam and whatever it is that you have bought into and run away from your ancestral bushmen. You can check out the root of what you are believing in, because that is what they sell you. They can't sell you knowing, can they? So they sell you a belief. I hear my friend reasoning, an illusion. Not reality here presently now, but a story that will keep your mind forever in the past, ignoring the present. But this very story that they are telling you about is actually a story by our ancestors, same people that they are telling you are bushmen. Bushmen are bushmen. Of course we are bushmen. I am a bushman. My ancestors was bushman. But bushman was given intelligence as well. Don't you know that? So the bushmen have long time before you build cities, because we was living in bush before cities. Life start in the bush, not in cities. Don't you understand that? Life start in the bush, not in cities. That is because men make cities and the creative energy make the bush. You understand? Yeah, well, so the original is in the bush, not in the city. You understand what I mean? That one is very, very nice, don't you think? That how you see all those houses over there and used to be bush, eh? That is what man has made. He is the one that made the city. How we bushmen like to call it, the shitty. So man makes shitties, eh? And God made bush. So we was in the bush before we was in the shitty. So the bushman then, with his intelligence, like I'm saying, although the city man have a way of hiding all this, because he doesn't, the last thing he want to do is to let anyone in the city know that the bushman has got intelligence, so he's hell-bent on keeping the bushman intelligence away from others. So he's made up all kind of stories and spread a lot of propaganda about the bushman. Like I say, if you go to Egypt and you see the bushman construction, he says, oh, this could not have been by the bushman. No bushman could have done this. I reckon it was some aliens that come from outer space. He will go to all this length to deceive people. And then now he's coming now. You bush people have been deceived. You are following Jesus and you believe in Jesus. Now, before the city man draw this picture of Jesus, I reckon he might have been dead over 1,000 years. I don't know. I think they said it's a fellow called Michelangelo that draw the image of what you love so much is Jesus. Probably Jewish boyfriend or something. Because these city men are very funny people, you don't know. You know what I mean? They're not like bush people. So you don't even know if you have been presented with a picture of a man boyfriend. You know what I mean? But anyway, the image now is of whatever Michelangelo produced of a blue-eye being and thing. And now you people from out of the bush, yeah, long time after your ancestors tell you that you must not worship idols, yeah, but you now make these city people convince you that no, your ancestors are the one that was worshipping idols. You see, because they don't know what we was doing. They do not understand our imagery. But you let them convince you that we was worshipping idols, while they quietly slip the idol of Jesus for you to worship. You see what I mean? So you see, but I don't know how bushmen could let city men trick them like that. You know what I mean? Because we are far outstrip the intelligence of city men. You know what I mean? But I think the city men now, because they have things in glitter. A lot of bushmen fall for the glitter. You know what I mean? Because city men have all aeroplane flying and all kind of business about the place, you know? And they have a few mirrors and thing and little shiny and two metal driving and, you know, those kind of things that they said is material things. And now the bushmen are not satisfied with the fruit of the bush anymore and living with the bush, talking to the bush. He let the city man convince him that it was a mad thing to talk to the bush. So now he cannot draw energy from the bush. You understand? But I am a bushman, and I am saying to all you city jungle men I'm talking to, you better get back to your jungle. Because unless you get back to your jungle in this time, you are lost. And you cannot find your way in the house of Christianity or in the house of Islam. Because you are following somebody's ancestor, not your own. You see what I mean? Imagine you left now as an example, if it was a family thing then. Let's say bring it down to a family thing, eh? And you're gone and you're paying homage to somebody else, same grandfather. What about your own? Yeah? Your own blood grandmother, you know? You know, this in her as not ready of being a human. But somebody else now tell you that God has revealed certain truths to some city men, eh? And whatever, and whisper it to them, and they come and tell it to you, and you believe that. Well, like I'm telling you, you could only believe such a thing, because such a thing cannot be known, because city people are con people. You live in cities today, the same thing is going on. City people are skillful at conning people, spinning a story. If you want to know the real truth, you got to come in the jungle. So what I'm telling you now, all of you who are, what you call yourself black people, you better get back to your African roots. You know, mentally. You better remember what you want to do, right? Put away all that they've poured into your head. Eh? And revert back to a time in Africa when your ancestors, right, was living without thinking about either Christianity or Islam or Hinduism. Now, we don't know what they was thinking, but they certainly wasn't thinking those things, and they never die. You know what I mean? In fact, if you dig very deep, you can see all the hidden treasures that these are trying to hide from you, that we produce right here in the bush. You know what I mean? Because life begins in the bush. And if you want to understand life, you've got to get to know the bush. You know what I mean? You are gone there now and they give you a book to read. A book is not the bush. You see, the bush, the grass, living bush here. You have to live with the bush. You have to be a proper bushman to understand, because, you know, like I tell you, the bush is the book. You are following, right? How stupid can you get, bushman? Like I tell you, buildings are what man make. Trees and grass are what God make. Yeah? So books are what man make. Yeah? So why go and study what man make, like the houses and that? Why not study the trees, which is a higher form of creative energy? You see what I mean? So you are supposed to read nature, not read books. Otherwise they will con you with their books. That's what they are conning you with. They are conning you with their books, because they do not know God. When you know God, you don't need any book. Bushman don't need book. We are not educated by books. We are educated by the bush. What's the matter with these people? You understand what I'm saying? Our education, my friend, like I've told people this many a time. If you examine me, I don't have no qualification. Oh, yeah, I can read and write a little bit, but I don't even know what a meter or centimeter is, never mind millimeter and all them kind of thing there. But I am not here to measure. Truth is not a measurement. What is right and correct? We don't have to measure it or know how much millimeter, centimeter is it. You understand? Bushmen are masons, builders. You keep telling them, you know. And you let the city man convince you now that he's a mason. No. Their form of masonry is exploitation. They are, you know, so you join a club and you say, oh, you're mason, and you keep the secret of how to exploit and make money and get rich and that. That is just tying up your soul into idiocy. True masonry, you know, masonry is builders, the art of building, like I tell you yesterday in my reasoning, of building the house of God. And we construct the brick that we use are truthful and honest brick. And so we build the house. So we are builders, understand? We build building, that's why we are the master builders. That is why we are bushmen and in the bush. So I don't know why all of a sudden all you have run out of the bush. Well, I shouldn't blame all the black people for running out of the bush, because I never did. Well, I say I was hiding in the bush, but these city men always come in the bush and they capture a lot of people against the people's will and took them away to the city to have them working and doing all manner of things out there in the city. You know what I mean? And then some of them who they never capture, they come in and early on force them to either submit or die. And then after a while now, it just becoming bred in the bushmen that this way is actually the right way. And so they was led astray away from their ancestral roots. So when something like that happened to you, it's as if, right, you are a tree. Have a drink. But you can do engrafting with trees. So some city men have come in there and take the bushman and engraft him onto a city tree. And now the bushman is convinced that he is a city tree and he belongs to that tree. But because I am a true bush doctor, as it was, and I know of trees, I know when I see an engrafted tree. So I can say, no, man. This tree is convincing you that you come from this tree, but you don't come from this tree. You've been engrafted. You know what I mean? Well, you know, it's very difficult to ungraft a tree that is in that it's been engrafted, you know, 'cause it will do anything to defend a foreign idea now. Yeah, so then, therefore you will have the idea of Islam. 'Cause you know, well, I'm sure Muhammad wasn't a jungle man then as it was, you know. Don't think we're talking any prejudice there. But in naturality, the man was a sandman. So he's not a jungle man. Know what I mean? And yet you have man now leaving the jungle, man, them leave the jungle to go and follow a man out in a barren land where there's no trees and, you know, in the jungle and lion and tiger and things. So I don't know why now, why I would want to leave. My ancestor live in this jungle here, yeah? Why would I want to go and live in and go in the burning desert there following somebody desert idea? You know, as if I was not pleased with the jungle that the creative energy put me in and all this, what was in this jungle. I have turned my back now and decided that everybody who live in this jungle, along with myself, is some kind of an idiot. And that it is the Sandmen who God give the intelligence. God, the Sandmen has come and say, oh, God reveal it to us. So here you are now, God is here revealing stuff to the Sandman. And a lot of us has gone with this sandy idea and all this thing. But all of you who have gone, have you ever heard about going away from your roots? All of you I'm talking. I know, cause this will be very hurtful for you, jungle man. Jungle man, when I'm calling, that's what they call you, black man, yeah? You black man, black woman, all of you who have leave your jungle, yeah, and has gone on into the city there, and you have joined clubs calling themselves Islam or Christianity, or any club that is not from the jungle, you've lost your way. And this is the call of the jungle man now to tell you that, listen, this is the gathering. You better get back to your jungle, you know what I mean? You better make connection with your ancestral roots. You don't belong out in the sands. You are a jungle bunny. So it would be best if you return to roots. And returning to roots here now, you get the understanding. You don't, we're not talking about traveling back to Africa. A lot of us can't afford it. This is where you remember. You see what I mean? You use your mind to remember where your ancestors are coming from. You know, or if you are like them say, no, you are biracial, you remember where half of your ancestors come from in it and where the other half come from. But in this time, it will be good if you remember where you are coming from. That means if you are in England, you know, you're spam, you're black, you know that your DNA is going to go right back in the bush. That's it. That's a fact, you know. It doesn't care. You could be from Brazil. See me? Who care where you're from? All I'm telling you, this bush out here is where you come from. So I don't care who you belong to out there or who capture you in the modern city life out there. I am telling you now that due to modern technology, as they would say, when you trace your DNA, you're going to find out that you belongs to the jungle people. So those jungle people are calling you home, that you must come back to your roots, and is also warning you that it's not a good thing to disrespect your roots, you know. Because since a lot of the people leave out the jungle, you have to laugh, because the other day I went on a visit to the city. Coming out of deep Congo down there. I'm talking deep underground in the bushes, you know, where real bushmen come from. So we went up there in the cities. And I was amazed at the change in the bushman in such a short period of time. Some bushmen are now deciding that it would be best if they bleach themselves. Yeah. And get themselves a lighter complexion as it was. And I counted, when I went to the town, I tell you something, see? When I come out the jungle, I went into the cities, of the city men. And the jungle people that I encountered there, they no longer look like jungle people. Apart from the color, and in a lot of cases they was trying to blend the color to look like the city people as well. But they are striving their very best to look like the city people. You hardly see, like I said, there is none of the women keep their natural hair. I shouldn't say none, very few. I don't want to insult the daughters who are still holding on to a bit of jungleness within themselves. Yeah? But there is a tiny percentage that I noticed there in these cities when I was making a jungle movement. A tiny minority of you still hold on to the jungle way of life. But 90%, if not 95%, has completely abandoned the jungle way to look like those who are in the cities. So you've done awful thing, not only to your physical body, but also to your hair. Yeah, to look like the city dwellers. And I was looking at them and thinking, this is torture. Why torture yourself like that when you are perfectly, if you was in the jungle, you're perfectly happy in the jungle. And but I think they call it fitting in. You see what I mean? So when it look like when you leave the jungle here now, and you go to the city. And then at the city, the shitty, yeah, when you reach to the shitty now, you cannot really operate like a jungle man anymore. But you can. You can operate as a jungle man, because I've been up there and operate as a jungle man. But some people they feel embarrassed being a jungle man in the shitty. So they feel now that they have to adapt themselves to the shitty. If you know what I mean. In other words, they become shitty themselves. Because that's what you have to do if you want to adapt yourself. You have to become like, well, you know, like how idiots go and stick. Pure idiot and thief and liars in the shitty. That's why I call it the shitty. So to adapt, you must become shitty. So you find that a lot of the jungle brothers and sisters who have been taken out of the jungle forcefully, their ancestors are those who travel willingly in these modern times to come to the shitty, has just turned into shits themselves. Yes, and it bleed a jungle man heart to see such things, that no one no longer take any pride in being a jungle man. And the honor and dignity of a jungle man. No, or a jungle woman for that matter. They are saying, no, we don't want to look like no jungle men. We want our nice wig, you know what I mean, and our nice hair, you know, our nice cream to make ourselves look brown, you know what I mean. So they would rather than have their natural hair, they would rather have dead people's hair on them head. You know what I mean. So you find out that when a jungle man go to the city, it's like entering a madhouse. Because even to find another sane jungle man in the city, it's a very difficult process. It's like finding a needle in a haystack. You know what I mean? But so to find real jungle man, you have to revert yourself back to the jungle, like out here in the bush, where you can get in touch with the trees and the natural liberty of a jungle man. You know what I mean? But because these city people pollute up the place so much, you know what I mean? They don't preserve anything. Everything is destruction. They destroy even the jungle. Never mind their shitty. They are just parasite upon the land. So what they are actually doing now is leading the jungle man astray, leading him away from his natural habitat. You know, because he hasn't got no natural habitat himself. You know what I mean? All his is built on illusion, fantasy, fear, doubt, lie. You know, that's an illusion. Nothing goes like what the city man is saying. City man is a liar. And when I say city man, you know, when you go into the city there now, you see over there, you see them with the churches, and they got everything that they build in the city is to deceive people. So when you go in the city, you be careful. Don't take no notice because you see anybody walking around with collars, and they have a lot of building city people build. We don't bother with them in the bush. You know, we sit under a tree and reason. But in the shit, you know, they build elaborate building and decorate them with fancy, and they like robbing diamond from in the bush and go there and decorate them buildings or themselves with it. And according to them anyway, they are showing what's the word they use? I don't know. I mean, a worship or reverence to the Lord as they would see. But they're not doing no such thing. That is just a show that they are putting on for you, that they are revering the Lord. City men don't revere nothing more than money. So even though I'm telling my jungle brother that, oh yeah, you see this man here masquerading, telling you about Jesus and all that, he's a money making machine. But he's just cause city men know how to deceive people. He's wrapped something up in a parcel and he's giving it to you. But his purpose is to make money, and he doesn't know God. And it's easy to unmask them, because you'll see them, they dress up in robes. So you know anybody who is dressed up particular way is a pretender. And they like in the city, because they don't know the right way, they always performing lots of silly rituals, you know, lighting candles and doing all kind of mad crazy things that when you are deluded, or when the light of the shitty blind you, because in the shitty there's a lot of light, and they like staring in light, so the light dazzle them, so they're no longer able to comprehend what reality really is. You see what I mean? So in their confusion, they go on with all kind of madness. And I can guarantee you that when you go to the shitty and you meet them and you hear them telling you about God, well, they never tell you that they know anyway. They just express what they believe. And they usually believe what somebody says long time ago. They don't know nothing about the present. So they will tell you that, oh, Jesus said and Jesus, but they haven't got nothing to say. They got a lot to do, like how to rob people and make a lot of money, you know. But when it comes to actually telling people what's right, they don't know. They rely on what was said a long time ago. Because they haven't got the time to find out, because they are too busy robbing and deceiving people. You know what I mean? Yeah, you don't trust them. You don't trust them. I would say to a religious man, you see all this stick here now, I would like to beat the Archbishop and the Pope and all those, because they are proper devils. Say, get out of here, you little Because the old men, I'm not saying I'm going to violently hit them, you know. I would like to violently hit them, because jungle men are not like city men, but we mean expose them proper, because they are proper little devils. That's why they are in the shitty. They are part of the shit. You know, here masquerading about and keep reading Bible and forever, like I say, keep telling you that Jesus was born of a virgin birth. That is your main story. You copy that from Egypt. Virgin birth was the idea of the virgin birth was a story told in Egypt long time. It's an allegorical story which you don't understand. You know what I mean? And then you take it now and you put it in your book and say, oh, nobody had sex with Mary. Don't be bloody stupid. Yeah, okay, like I've told you, I'm going to repeat it again. I love repeating this thing because it's one of your main foundation. So I like to tear it down and show how ridiculous it is. So, okay, let's say Mary never had sex with, no, not Mary, never had sex with Joseph. Mary never had sex with Joseph, and Joseph went to work. And the next door neighbor, right? And the next door neighbor in them time, it was him. So what I'm telling you now, city man, stop going about the earth, right? Repeating some old story that you do not know. This man Jesus, no man never born by no virgin birth. We all come here by sex. You understand? Between mother and father. What is the point for all this generation you're telling this lie? You know what I mean? What sense does it make? The priest, you priest and deacon, whoever you are, you must know in your heart that you are believing an illusion. It's a stupid lie. The man never born by no virgin birth. You know what? There is one way, priest. You stupid devil priest, that's what I call you, a deacon. There is one way that you can be born of a virgin, yeah? And this is when you make a transformation. You know, when you turn knowledge into wisdom, you create a new being within yourself. This being come about without any sex. That is the virgin birth. Man and woman can do it. Don't go away. All you women, even the women, I rate you the most. Women should have attacked this story the most. Because women are the one who give birth. They are the one who know that you can't have no goddamn virgin birth. So why don't they just tell people? But no, they are following all these stupid idiotic men who sit down at the Council of Nicaea, Constantine, and decided to engraft this in a book and give it to them. And even up into these modern age, you're still going to church and believing in this crap. And you know that a virgin cannot give birth. But you are afraid, you let these idiotic, like I tell you, lunatic men implant. No wonder the world is imbalanced, because woman, you've lost your fight then. Like you have no energy to fight, so anything these idiotic men say, you just agree with it. Before, the women should have been in outrage. If I was a woman, I would be in outrage. So what? Oh, you mean say I'm a virgin of birth and I don't have sex with a man? That can never happen, man. I lie the man them tell. Because this story wasn't invented by a woman. It was man who decided that Jesus was born of a virgin birth. It wasn't a movement of women. It's a story make up by man and them for like. Nothing don't go like that. So, but at the end of the day, we are in life to understand what is right and correct and truthful. So why would God want make a one man born of a virgin? And I like the way God let this man who was born of a virgin know. He never born in Africa to us so that we could know him. Well, if I was a Japanese or Chinese, I would say the same thing, because I don't think they know him either, the man them from South America. All of God, prophet and saint and everything seems to be circulating between Christianity and Islam. Or what they call, the one that God promised the earth, why him call himself the Jews. You know what I mean? But why you see the way Bushman see things. Excuse me. You see the way Bushman see things now. The Bushman do not see the city dwellers, you know, because the city dwellers, I think because they leave the bush, they've got no city turn them. So we don't see people like the Japanese, the Chinese, the Jewish, the Arab, the Christian. Bushman don't see anything like that. Bushman just see man. So when a Bushman leave the bush, he don't tell somebody tell him that, oh, I am a Jew. You is a human, you know. Jew is irrelevant. They say, oh, I am an Arab. I say, alright, so you say you are a Jew, yeah? And I say, so does that make you live longer? You know, what is the help if you are a Jew then? Say you are in life here, right? You say you are a Jew, then another man says an Arab, and that man says black man, that man is what? What help is that to you? Is that going to make you live longer or don't die? Or if you are a Jew, does it make you then that you don't have to go to the toilet or have a piss? I want to know what is the advantage when somebody say to a man from the jungle that, oh, I am a North Korean or South Korean. Because as far as the jungle man is concerned, you are just another human being. You know, we don't really bother if you did come from the south or the west or the whatever. Because the Bushman know that it doesn't matter where you are coming from. Because you're coming from out of your mommy. You can't come from nowhere else, and that you are full of shit and you are going to die. So reporting to the Bushman that you are, oh, I am a Polish, and I am a Czech, and I am German, and I am Swiss, I am English. All that doesn't, you know, all that is just irrelevant. You know, we strip you away of all those. This is what the city man has convinced you, that you are these things. So now, in fact, I think the Olympic is starting up tomorrow, and you'll be able to see how far the city men have deluded you city men into believing that you are different and separate beings. Because tomorrow at the opening ceremony, you will see all the different countries and nations represented, and you will see the many different ways that the city man has divided you and turned you into fool and make you proud of being fools. Yeah, a lot of you will cry when you hear the national anthem, and when you see your flag, you get so excited. When you see your flag, you put your hand on your heart and pledge allegiance to your little divided country and your little divided flags. You understand what I mean? That's how far the city man has deluded you now, that you celebrate your own idiocy. As it was, you know what I mean. But then again, because city people are so, like I say, deluded, and they are so mixed up in their cities, and so, well, all city people are mad anyway. That's why I don't stay in the city long, you know what I mean. Because you find out that it's only deluded people that are in the city. You're better off right here in the bush. You understand? Because this is what the force create. Remember what I tell you, God create the bush and man create the buildings, cities and that. And you know, in those places that man create is what we call shitties. And when you go in those places that man create, you find a lot of deluded beings doing a lot of deluded things. Very evil and vile practices. They do not follow nature. They are not interested in the bush. You understand what I mean? So when you find people who are not interested in bush living, then you for sure you can guarantee that you are now going to find a lot of depraved people, whether it's political, religiously, sexually, whatever they are doing. They just city people are just crazy. That is why I'm appealing to those of you bush people to return back to the jungle, you know what I mean, before. Because you see things is getting hot in the shitty now. All over the world, these people in their shitties are now beginning to worry. They are not happy anymore. You know, I'm telling you, there's a change coming. And you should prepare yourself. The only place you're going to be safe in this time is to run back to the jungle. But anyway, this has been a long reasoning on the jungle style. And right now we're going to what I would call reel out. And we'll meet you on another outside reasoning from the firehouse. See? Fade out and fire out.